start with your introduction. Could you like introduce your name and your university, what major you're taking? Thank
Yeah. So my name is Tjin. I am originally from Bandung, Indonesia. Currently, I'm doing a master in the School of Medicine, Trinity College Dublin, and my majors is Global Health.
Thank you. That's a really cool subject. I guess you have a more than average knowledge than the rest of the students out there. It must be really hard to get into medical school, right?
Actually, it was not. So I did my undergraduate in Taiwan, and I was there for like around 5 years. And then I already knew that I want to do a master degree, and I applied to several university that I all Googled. So I like yes, like before I actually decided to come to Ireland, I'd never thought about the country or actually knew that much, because like in Indonesia we don't really talk about Ireland. All we know is like either UK or like America or Canada maybe or some, right? Like we don't really talk about it. So I Googled like where should I go next, and I always knew that I want to go to an English speaking country, because like back when I was in Taiwan we don't really use English. So it was, I always like English is one of my strongest language. So I want to go, to a country that speaks English. And so that time I just Googled, and I think like Trinity have a very good marketing skills, I guess. So it showed up in my, when I Googled it, and Trinity show up, and I just sent like everything myself, because it was very easy. You send your CV and your cover letter and whatever that is. And I sent it, and I got an interview, and I got accepted. So it wasn't that hard, to be honest, to get into the school, but it is hard to graduate. As in, like, it's a very small batch of people, and the competition in here is quite tough. Like, you have to have like sufficient English and knowledge before, and then even I'm the youngest in my class. Like most of the people that's doing graduate school are like 30 or 40, and then they want to either advance their career or change fields. So and then even like a lot of them are doctors, because it's a school of medicine. A lot of them are clinicians, so doctors and nurses and midwives, and then even they struggle. So it's not, yes, even they struggle. So it's not easy. It's not that hard to get in, but it's hard to get out, I would say. Yes.
And then like why Ireland? Like I noticed that you actually studied in another country before. You studied in Taiwan, right? And why you decided to move from Taiwan to Ireland, and why don't you continue your masters in Taiwan as well, or do you want a new experience?
I actually get accepted to several master's degree in Taiwan with full scholarships.
Wow.
So it will be like, it was free for 2 years. But at the time I was already 5 years in the country, and I've worked a little bit there, and I think I've learned what I have to learn over there. So it was time to move on for me. And then, like as I told you, I wanted to go study to an English speaking country. And with that, it was either Canada or America or UK. And Ireland is just a great alternative, since when I was in Taiwan, they offered 1 year working visa after you graduate.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of my friends, they graduated and then they have to find sponsorship from the company in the country that wants to sponsor you to work, which is a hassle, because for a company to have the resources to support you, they have to be big enough. They have to it was a lot of policy. So when I look around, research on what country, and then Ireland gave 2 years of free working visa. Yes, so it's not, you don't have to go through a bunch of policies and paperwork through it. You just get it after you graduate. So that is one of the reasons I came to Ireland, actually.
Oh yeah. So I think career is also one of your choice when you opt to study in Ireland, right? So the post-graduation visa. that thing actually invites you really much to Ireland.
Yes.
And how do you find it so far? I mean, like, have you started your job hunting process, or are you just about to start your research?
I'm currently finishing all my semesters. So like the weird thing, the fun thing about master degrees in Ireland is that it's a 1-year program that consists of 3 semesters. So in 1 year you'll get a MSc or MPH or a master degree. But the 2 semesters are all classes, and then the 3rd semester is a dissertation.
Okay.
So I already finished the 2. I'm currently in my 3rd semester, and yes. With the job hunting, I have not done it yet because I'm doing the dissertation. But I think Trinity is a great school. It's number 1 in Ireland, and then they offer a lot of projects. So like while I am doing my courses, the lecturers they're amazing, and then they offers, their research and their projects to us. And then I've taken one of them. It's with the GBHI, Global Brain Health Institute, which they do research in 100 countries about dementia and Alzheimer's, right? And then like I've included in some of their projects. And then I think I think like most of the time you get jobs from connections. Either then you keep applying for the LinkedIn and then the interview and all of that. So I think that the school offers very good opportunities to up your game in the recruitment. But yeah, no, I have not applied yet.
I mean, that's a normal process, like especially with 1-year masters.
Yes,
your time will be like a bit complicated to manage. But
yes,
I think it's still manageable, right? Like by looking at your experience, that you're still doing a lot of like side projects other than just your studies, right? And your university is actually offering you a lot of experience despite of the pandemic. Yeah, actually one question. So you still got those kinds of experience despite of the COVID-19? Like, how was it like during the first time you arrived in Ireland, and how was it like? Do you still get to really enjoy your student experience there? Like,
So I arrived in Ireland 2020 September, and it was already COVID time at that time. Like we had to go do PCR and then the 2-week quarantine, and then I haven't gone out from the country ever since. I stayed here during all of that. Ireland wasn't really closing when I came here. It was like level 3 restrictions, as in restaurants are still open, you can still go shops and everything, but they really open up during Christmas time. But after that, because they open up in Christmas time, the cases go up like rapidly, and then they have to close everything in. So there's never been a lockdown per se, but they are in restrictions, level 5 restrictions.
You still have to like wear your mask and stuff.
Yeah, we still have to wear our mask, and then we don't go out as often. Courses are hybrid, as in most of the classes are online, but we have labs that we have to go to the school for. So it's a good combination. But to be honest, I enjoy being home a lot. Like for me, if I don't have to go out, I wouldn't go out. And that's the same when I did my undergraduate. So I don't really mind because lectures are mostly very basic. They give you the basics. These are the things that you need to know. But for assignment and for project, you have to be assertive and do what you want to do. And you learn more from project and assignments rather than listening to your lecturers. So I get the student experience here, and then knowing so many people from a lot of places. So I don't think it's a bad experience. I really enjoyed it actually.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that you actually enjoyed your experience despite COVID-19. Because I mean, you're not the first one to say that you actually enjoy your time being hybrid. Like a kind of like mix between offline and online classes. And another side of this, like, how do you make friends? Like, do you get to like network with your classmates and your lecturers as well? Yes,
actually, I think it's easier to network now that it's online, because like Yes, because like in first, like in a face-to-face situation, there's one lecturer with 50 students, and you're not able to record anything they say. You maybe not get their information, but when it's online, you can screenshot everything and take pictures of everything and record everything, and then afterwards you can just email them saying, "Hi, I'm Anna, and I'm your student in this. I'm looking forward for this and that," and then you get your network. And I think it's the same with my classmates. We do hang out outside of schools, and then that's how you make friends. But I live in a student accommodations before. So it's a student accommodations from and it's outside of school, so outside of campus. So we have a good combination of people. So it's not only from my school, but other schools as well, and people from around the world. So I don't think it's hard to make friends because I have there's everyone over there that's quite lonely too because of the pandemic. So and everyone's a student, so it's not that bad.
Oh, and one question then. So will you recommend international students to actually stay in student accommodation during this COVID-19? What do you think?
There's pros and cons. As in, with student accommodations, you get the basics. As in, you get a room, you get your own bathroom, maybe sharing, kitchen or like public spaces, which is good. You get to know people. You have your basic necessities. Maybe not that much of space, but if you're going to study, all year long, or maybe go out a lot with your friends, it doesn't matter. So it's not bad in that sense. As in, like the first year you came here, you get to adapt very well because you have people around you, compared to if you live in an apartment or like a studio by your own without anyone. It could get a little bit lonely. So I do recommend living in a student accommodations with good rules and policy, because I know some of them are very loose with the rules. So there has been outbreak in student accommodations reported before.
Yeah, I've heard
that. So I recommend it, but with a good caution of which accommodations you choose. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kudos for the tips. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
And actually, okay, because you're in Ireland, like, could you tell us more about Dublin? Because I think a lot of people knows already about like New York or London, Melbourne, but then Dublin as the capital of Ireland. I mean, we all know that Dublin is the capital, but not everyone has been going to like Dublin before. It's kind of like a rare trip for Indonesian to go to Dublin. It's not really common, right? And like the Indonesian society itself, I'm not sure if they have like a huge volume of students there. Could you tell us the life in Dublin, and do you actually get to meet another Indonesian there? Just curious.
Yes, I think it's also the media. Like we see a lot of people going to the London, the Big Ben, or like New York, or not a lot of Canada, but like in Indonesia in the films, we see a lot of those countries. But Ireland, not so much.
Maybe we just
not really.
Life,
yeah.
I just
but
West life.
Yes, I think so. Or like Europe is not very, very popular in Indonesia, other than Germany and
maybe.
Other than that, like I've never have anyone saying, "Oh, I want to go to Croatia," or like we don't really talk about, or maybe Spain a little bit. But it's not very like popular in Indonesia. I don't really know the country before I came. Because it's not, no one ever told me what this place. But Dublin is a very vibrant city. Like even though it's COVID, it's still very much alive. Yes, it speaks English, which is awesome, because in other parts of Europe you have to learn another language, which I don't have the energy to do it. I don't want to learn, spend a whole year learning Spanish. Yes, while doing my master, because that's stupid. But they speak English, but with an accent. So the accent do need to, everyone's like, even my American friend or Canadian friend, they need time to adapt to the accent, but they speak English. So that's another plus point.